Hi, I'm Jade.
And I'm Edwin. And we are doing today's recording to speak about Jade's Law in general and the recent campaign in Northern Ireland to get a Jade's Law equivalent, and our future work, which will involve us campaigning to unite the whole of the United Kingdom with Jade's Law equivalent in Scotland. Jade here on the screen at the moment, she is a close relative to Amy Doherty, who was sadly killed earlier this year, and it prompted the family to contact me because they were wondering why no legislation existed within the province. So, Jade, have you got anything to say about?
It's mind blowing, isn't it? That it
Yeah,
wasn't already in place. It's something that it has to be campaigned to be put into place. Really, it's
yeah,
shocking that.
yeah. It was a shock to me actually because I was under the impression that the whole of the United Kingdom were protected under the same law that was created back in 2024. I suppose I should give a slight history over the reason why the law was prompted, and what it was in August of 2021, which is close on 5 years ago now.
Yeah,
A local girl, Jade Ward, she was murdered by her estranged husband. They'd recently separated, and obviously he wasn't happy about that. And because he was a selfish individual, he decided to take Jade from us, from the community. She left 4 boys who were effectively orphaned because of this, because he was now in jail, and these poor lads had to be split amongst the Jade's family. They're now very happy. They're
yeah,
as happy as can be. They're being looked after by Jade's sister and Jade's auntie. But during the time that he was on remand and after he was sentenced, he was still exerting control over the family with regards to the children. Um, so he wanted to know what school they were going to, who they were living with. He refused to sign passports, applications. He was constantly aggravating the situation from within the prison, from
yeah,
within his prison cell. And the family were becoming frustrated by this for obvious reasons. And they approached me because they know I have a legal background. And I said, well, I will try and see what we can do. So I looked at the legislation at the time, and although they could have made applications to the court for injunctions, prohibitive steps orders, restrictive, they could have actually applied to remove parental responsibility through the courts. That had existed for many, many years. But as
yeah,
I did notice that in the past 25 years, only 3 successful attempts had been made. So I thought, well, there should be an easier way to do this. So I created, what's known as the Jade's Law framework, which reversed the burden from the family or families or relatives looking after the children
yeah,
after this sort of event, and it swapped the burden across to the prisoner. So if he wanted to have maintain parental responsibility for whatever reason, he would have to then go through the court process himself.
yeah,
So upon sentence, in theory, this is what should happen. If a person is found guilty of murdering their spouse, they will automatically suspend parental responsibility. So that should be done at sentence.
Yeah.
So it takes all that anguish away from the families left behind. They don't have to go through the court process. They can just automatically have their parental responsibility given to them by the court, special guardianship orders, and
Yeah.
they don't have to talk.
They're in prison up anyway, aren't they? You know, they've just lost a
Yeah,
daughter and
yeah,
then going
and
through all of them.
yeah, and these things are costly. You know,
Yeah.
people have had to pay, through the nose in certain cases to get these restrictions placed upon somebody. So anyway, the Jade's Law debate went to Parliament. It was, well, surprisingly, it was opposed by the then government, the Conservative government at the time. They came in en bloc and they just didn't want this to happen. So the initial campaign was for nothing really, and I wasn't having this. I mean, I remember Jade's father; he was in tears. Jade's mother was the same, saying, "Oh, because we campaigned for like six to eight, well, I think it was probably about 12 months by the time the debate went to Parliament, and it was all for nothing because the debate had happened, it'd been opposed, it'd been blocked, and they were distraught, quite rightly so.
Yeah.
So I said, don't worry about it. It's not over yet. I will, just keep on pressing on. So I carried on going to Parliament, speaking to certain individuals there, arranging meetings. I became quite a pain in the backside actually to Parliament because I wasn't having it, and ultimately I got to the point where I wrote to the Prime Minister at the time, Rishi Sunak, and I just placed him in the position where this family were. I said, well, what would you do if it was your daughter? Because I knew he had a daughter. And how would you like it if you had to speak either directly or indirectly to this person who's just taken your daughter away? And lo and behold, within a few weeks of that conversation, it was announced that Jade's Law could be sorted out, and this was after probably 12 months of them saying, "Oh no, there's no need." So we got to the point where it was debated again, and then for a third time, and then eventually it got to the point where yes, it was included in the Victims in Prisons Bill of 2024. And I thought, well, that's it. It's a success.
Yeah.
18 months after that point, October takes us to October last year. I was present at a children's charity launch of a film which I was involved in about children who've got a parent or parents in jail. Children Heard and Seen, really good charity based down in Oxford. And there were people on the panel talking about they wish they'd had they wish that Jade's Law had been enacted, and they could have used it in the court. And I was sat there in the audience thinking, what? Jade's Law is in, it's law. And I was arguing with them, and I went home and I thought, what? It's not. I thought that once the law had been passed, that it could be used. And I found that it wasn't actually enacted. So the Civil Service, Ministry of Justice, although the law was there, they couldn't use it. The judges were unable to use it. So I I then made a public petition, a direct letter to the Home Secretary at the time, David Lammy, and it generated thousands of signatures, basically pushing the Ministry of Justice to come up with an answer. I went down to the Ministry of Justice in February of this year, had a meeting with them. They tried to fob me off with all sorts of excuses why it hasn't yet to be enacted. I wasn't having any of it, and I just said, well, you need to really pull your fingers out. It needs to be done, because there are on average 3 women a week murdered by their partner or their ex-partner. So went away from there. They assured me that it was going to be done by December of this year. We have to wait and see on that. Excuse me. So since that point, in April, I was approached by your family, actually, in Northern Ireland, with amongst others the Women's Aid in the province, all suggesting that it wasn't available in the province. Again, a massive shock to me. I thought, what the hell is going on? And it turns out that not only is it not available in Northern Ireland, it's not available in Scotland either. So that's why we went to work with what we're doing now. Generated a petition, because the Northern Ireland Assembly don't have the same sort of mechanism as they do at Westminster, where there's like a portal which you can use to generate a petition. So I designed my own petition, as use the open letter resources, wrote it as a petition, as you know, and I think at the moment it's 13,000 something or other, the petition. But it was successful insofar as that within 6 weeks of us starting, I went over to the province, went to Londonderry, as you know, met with Amy's family, lovely people, Sharon and Patrick, and a few other, his her father, aunties, and obviously Women's Aid and all these other agencies within the city of Derry, and we've managed within 6 weeks to get full commitment from across the political spectrum within the Northern Ireland Assembly, to actually commit to getting a Jade's Law equivalent within the province. So that's massive news. So happy with that. It is frustrating that it's not going to happen until at least May of next year. But as I've said to the families and to the other people that are involved, sometimes these things do take time. I mean, if you consider that I've been doing this now for nearly 5 years, and it still hasn't been enacted. Politics is a strange animal. You get these commitments, you get the laws going through, but for some reason the machinery doesn't quite work as fast as we would want it to. As far as I'm concerned, it should be here right now. We shouldn't be waiting for another 6, 12
years to happen as well.
It's horrendous, especially for the families. So that's where we are at the moment. I mean, I know that. I mean, you've been working with me closely, Jade. You've done masses of work promoting all the stuff. All the posts on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. You've been fantastic on that. You've done a lot more than most. You've done more than me in that respect. You're a genius.
It's just I see it as like, if it was my kids as well, like if something had happened to me, then I wouldn't. It's it's awful, isn't it? That
Yeah.
it's not already in place, and it just doesn't sit right with you, does it? That
No.
how can you gain from killing your partner and then gain the rights to the children or gain the responsibility? Yeah,
Yeah. Well, my argument has always been that the person who's murdered the mother in 99.9% case is
yeah,
always it's mainly the mother that's been murdered.
yeah,
My argument is, well, how the hell can they be asking for to maintain those rights over the children, parental responsibility, when they obviously
yeah.
didn't think about that when they were murdering the
Yeah, that's
mother?
another form of control, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
way I see it.
They've taken away the mother, and they somehow think that they've got the right to still dictate of the children. Why they're not thinking about the children when they do
Yeah,
what they did. So that's always confused me. I'm a divorced person myself. I've got a child from a previous marriage, but I would never dream of taking the mother away from my
yeah.
child, who I love. Why would I do
Sometimes
that?
the control, doesn't it? That's
It's a
what it is, the
control issue,
control. Yeah,
and it always
definitely.
is. Yeah, it's all about control. I mean, uh, we can't talk too much about Amy's case because obviously it's an
Yeah,
ongoing case that hasn't gone through the judicial process yet.
yeah,
But what we do know is that um, there was a controlling aspect to the relationship, and the accused person at the moment obviously thought, like Jade's murderer, that
yeah,
once they were losing control, they they're like a spoilt child. These people are
yeah,
like spoilt children. They've got a ball in the playground, and if they can't have it, and if they don't want to, if they're not allowed to use it and play with that football, they prefer to burst it and not let anybody else use
yeah,
that football.
yeah.
That's the sort
So
of
difficult,
mentality.
yeah, yeah.
That's the sort of
It
mentality.
is. I've noticed as well with running the Facebook page, like
Yeah,
I've had a lot of people message me personally and tell me their stories, and there's actually women right now living with abusive partners,
yeah,
and they're reaching out to me saying that the partners now know that obviously the law doesn't exist in Ireland and they can gain their rights by taking away their lives basically, and it's being used as threats and stuff towards them. It's
well, yeah,
hard on me, listening to these stories as well.
yeah.
It does take a toll on you, hearing all these stories and reading them, and you know, it's awful. And yeah, I just don't know what to do for the next step really, and say to them back. It's a bit difficult to.
Well, the thing is, what you are doing, what I'm doing, and what the families in Northern Ireland are doing, and soon the families in Scotland will be doing. We're all working towards a a situation where if somebody thinks that they can maintain parental responsibility of the children that they had with these unfortunate, in most cases, women that have been murdered, then they're going
Yeah,
to be they are wrong to even think that it's not going to happen.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
we've got the situation now where England, Wales, Northern Ireland have all committed to. Well, England and Wales are a bit further ahead, but we've got
yeah,
Northern Ireland that have committed to it. We've got the Republic of Ireland under the Valerie's Law, which
yeah,
was started by David French, who basically took the template of Jade's Law as a framework. We've worked together over the last couple of years getting that getting that sorted out. So soon you'll have the whole island of Ireland protected by
yeah.
it.
And just be Scotland next, isn't it?
It's got Scotland,
Yeah,
yeah. I was meant to launch it, as you know, on Wednesday, but because the Scottish Parliament hadn't quite approved the petition, we've had to postpone it for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Bit frustrating, but
Yeah.
these things happen. Politics, it's politics, Jade. It really is. It's frustrating for families, I know, but all we can say to people is that there are people behind the scenes working for it. Like yourself, like Amy's family, like
Yeah.
the people of Foyle Women's Aid in the Republic of Ireland, and other agencies in the UK in general. We will obviously have people from Scotland, agencies in Scotland once they.
I think once the awareness about it, because a
Yes.
lot of people don't really understand it or have never heard of it.
Yeah.
I think once they're aware, you get loads of people supporting it.
Yeah.
I've noticed myself, we have thousands of people that are backing us behind
Yeah.
it.
I mean, the surprising thing is, you see, when I first started the petition back in 2022, it was a UK-wide petition. You had signatures from Scotland, Northern Ireland, England, and Wales,
Yeah.
and that's what made me think when it was uh, um, contained when it was made law in May of 24. I automatically thought that it was all over the country, the whole
Yeah.
United Kingdom.
Yeah.
So I felt like a bloody idiot when people were saying, "Oh no, it's not available." It's not. One, it wasn't available because it hadn't been enacted, and two, it didn't even exist in Northern
Yeah.
Ireland or Scotland. I was completely aghast. I couldn't believe it. But now that we've got our teeth into it, we can assure the public that anybody interested, just get in contact, because we are going to
Yeah.
be working on this until we've finished it completely.
Yeah, that continue spreading awareness as well, and
Yeah,
just
spread the awareness. Yeah, I mean, because this
make
is
people aware. Right?
yeah. If people want to, I suppose, if people want to get more information, either via our social media networks that we've got TikTok. We're on TikTok and Instagram, Facebook. People want to watch about the original story behind what prompted Jade's Law in the beginning. It's available on ITVX. There's a series of social media murders. There's a series 3. There's one about Jade Ward there, and that will detail the beginnings of what's now Jade's Law. And we will just continue doing what we're doing, Jade.
Yeah,
Yeah,
continue. But I'm guilty myself, of doing this, but I see a lot of people posting petitions, and
yeah.
I don't really understand the importance of it.
Well,
Till
nobody does, you see, Jade,
yeah,
because the thing is, unless it happens to you, or
yeah,
or you're linked to something like this,
yeah,
it's like it's human nature. There's nothing
yeah, yeah,
particularly wrong with that.
yeah.
But if it doesn't happen to you, or you're not within a community where it's happened,
Mm.
people just they think, oh well,
Go past them, yeah. You know
they
yourself,
don't.
I've done it.
But what people do need to realise, whoever's watching this, is that even though it hasn't happened, and let's hope it never happens, the fact that it could happen to
Yeah,
anybody in this country, and the
yeah,
fact that over, on average, 3 women a week are murdered by their partners or ex-partners, that's 150 women per year, 150 families per year
yeah,
affected. Um, the, I don't know what the average family makeup is, but let's just say it's 2 children per family.
yeah,
There's 300 children made orphans effectively.
yeah,
There's obviously not all children who are left in this situation with their father in jail, their mother dead. Let's not mess around. Been
yeah,
murdered. unless they've got family around them, they could end up in a children's home. They could be
Yeah.
split up. You know,
Mm.
I mean, I know it doesn't happen as much as it used to, but they are affected for the rest of their lives with
Yeah,
this.
definitely.
And then you've got the knock-on effect. You've got friends of this family. You've got friends of friends. You've got the whole community, no matter where that might be. I mean, where I live, North Wales, the immediate community were in shock when this first happened. Same with Amy. The whole of Derry City came out en masse in complete and utter shock. And that happens 3 times a week on average somewhere in the UK. So people watching need to think, well, we need to prevent this from happening in the future. We may not be able to prevent the deaths, unfortunately, but we will. What we will prevent is the continued power which these individuals have from their prison cells. We'll be able to sever that element from the equation.
I know, it's further control and it's affecting the
all,
kids as well, isn't it? Yeah, the kids deserve better and,
yeah,
you know,
they do.
if you understand the law, it's definitely something that's needed everywhere. No
Well,
child should have to suffer under
yeah,
the shadow of like.
I mean, the law, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, Jade,
Yeah,
because since the whole, I mean, I was probably the first person in a very long time to actually look at parental responsibility in general, because up until that point, and up until 2022, um, the only element of parental responsibility was within the Children's Act of 1989, and there were literally 3 sentences dealing with parental responsibility. So that was it doesn't make any sense at all. It is just the government, well, the general government, not just this government now or the last
yeah,
government. It's been going on for decades,
yeah,
where children are treated less favourably than animals.
yeah,
You've got the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. You've got the Royal Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Birds, Protection of Birds. But when it comes to protection of children, it's the National Society. It is
yeah,
not a royal warrant. National. That's because that makes them lower in priorities. So since the framework of Jade's law, there are now other agencies within the country wanting to expand upon that, not only to remove parental responsibility from those who have murdered their spouse, but also for people who've sexually assaulted their children or
yeah.
raped
It's
or
crazy
whatever.
to think that doesn't exist already as well, doesn't it?
It
That's
doesn't exist. It does not
yeah,
exist. Believe it or not, it does not exist. And I've got to say that to any fathers watching, listening, I'm a father myself, and I cherish parental responsibility. I take parenthood very seriously, and I'm the last person to want parental responsibility removed from any father.
yeah,
However, what I will say, if you're prepared to murder your children's mother, then you've
yeah,
got no rights. You've got no
yeah.
right to that at all. That's
That's right. Yeah,
there are certain people that have come to me, not many, it's a handful, who've said, oh, yeah, you're taking the rights from fathers. Fathers have got rights. Well, it's not against fathers.
yeah,
I was very, very vocal during the initial campaign, not against fathers. I'm a father myself. Don't want to take parental responsibility away from fathers, But I want to take parental responsibility away from somebody who wants to murder the parent of their children, who are they are supposed to care for.
Yeah.
And I was,
I
I,
think it's in
I
the favour for women, doesn't it? If they was to
well,
kill their partner. Yeah. So
exactly. I
it
mean,
does.
I was very, very specific when I was writing out the framework and the guidance. Well, my opinions more than anything. Uh,
Yeah.
that the suspension should be taken from the spouse.
Yeah.
Didn't want to be mentioning men
Yeah.
or women.
Yeah.
But the fact does remain that the vast majority of this type of crime is from the man
Yeah.
committing it upon the woman. But I mean, yes, it can happen the other way, but it's extremely rare.
See, you
Those,
work with the charity, don't you? The Seen and the Heard as well, the Seen and Heard children.
yeah,
And you've
the
heard stories of the children themselves, and
yeah,
you
yeah,
know it's a hard one, isn't it? So
yeah.
you say
What I
that,
will, what we'll do on this particular podcast, whatever you want, I don't know what we're going to call this, but yeah, I will put a link underneath to the documentary. I don't know whether I've sent it to you,
yeah,
Jade.
actually, I did on the Facebook page.
Yeah, yeah. So
I think
we
it was
can put
just a short clip that I'd shared
yeah,
of
yeah.
the stories. Yeah,
But there are examples where these children who are now adults going into adulthood, uh, where they're facing the fact that their father is about to soon be released, and how do they cope with that? What do they do? Can they
yeah,
um, how do they deal with the fact that they may well see their father walking the streets
yeah,
again? Their father may well want to approach them as adults. How do they deal with that? So, Children Heard and Seen are a charity who deal with this type of element. They are a fantastic charity. I don't actually work for them, but I'm
yeah,
associated with them,
yeah,
and I have been for a couple of years now. And as I said, I'm part of the documentary. I
yeah.
was giving my sort of spiel on why Jade's Law was created in the first place. But yeah, we'll put links on that.
Yeah. It shows the impact, doesn't it? What it has on their lives as well. You know, it's a hard subject to talk about as well, and
It is
even think
extremely
about.
hard. It really is. I mean, I feel sorry for any of these children who are growing up, knowing, and as they grow older, they will realise what's happened,
Yeah,
um, and the children heard and seen are focused on this. They
yeah,
they deal with a child who's growing older, starting to ask questions. Some may want to have contact with their father.
yeah,
Some may not want, if only just to ask why. Why?
yeah,
Why did you do this? Why did you kill my mother?
yeah,
So, I mean, we've got Amy's children who are both very young at the moment. Can't go into too much detail, obviously, but
yeah,
they're going to grow up not knowing much about Amy, and that's
yeah,
extremely sad. Only based on what the family tell them, and they're going to be asking questions as they grow older.
yeah,
And thankfully, they've got a really strong family around them. But they are amongst hundreds and hundreds of other children within the UK,
yeah,
uh, and it blows my mind how anybody, after committing such an offence, can conceivably think that they have the right to
yeah,
still intervene into their children's lives. It's just not
yeah,
happening. Not while I'm still around,
yeah,
and while you're still around, and while Amy's family and other families throughout the country who have been affected by this directly, um, the
Just not right,
103rd.
is it?
Eh?
It's just not right, like
No,
the
no, no, no. And this law will make sure that that doesn't happen in the future, and
yeah,
that's our determination to make sure that it doesn't happen. Wrap it up now and let everybody know that we are going to be doing a few more, maybe shorter snippets of information, some live feeds on TikTok and Instagram over the next few weeks. Probably concentrate more on what's going on in Northern Ireland and our future campaign in Scotland. Try and get some traction on the people in Scotland because we need
yeah,
their help. And we will keep everybody
yeah.
informed.
Keep
Yeah,
spreading awareness and
keep on spreading awareness. And if anybody wants to come jump on to our live broadcasts, they can, feel free to ask any questions. They might not be able to get any answers, because I don't know everything, but
yeah,
we'll certainly try to answer what we can.
yeah,
So,
brilliant. Yeah.
yeah.